Hello, hello, and welcome to the week ahead for the 7th to the 13th of August, 2023. So this week, Sunday marks the halfway point of our Venus retrograde journey. So there are a lot of emotional things coming up for us and definitely turning points. So stay calm. It's all good. All right. Let me share my screen with you. Okay. So when we start this week on Monday, okay, so Monday at 4:27, the moon goes into Taurus. So we start off with an Aries moon this week. And here you can see that. So this is set for like around the 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, generally in the morning. So you can see that the moon there is in between Chiron and the North Node. All right. So we've been figuring things out. We're working out what are the things that have previously held us back and which way we're going. That North Node is showing us the path that we need to be taking. So at the same time, we are, like I said, we're adjusting our trajectory, and we're understanding the perceived wounds that have held us back. I know I just said that twice, but we really are looking at things and seeing that our life is a story and it is unfolding for us now. That Aries moon allows you to be the director of this story. So take that into consideration and rewrite your own narrative and make a better future for yourself. Like we really are getting to this turning point. So remembering from last week, if you watched it, I was saying with this Mars and Mercury in Virgo, our inner critic can be really, really loud at the moment. So we want to be paying attention to the thoughts that we're thinking, also what direction we're sort of being gently shoved in as well. There's definitely a lot of assistance around this week helping us get through and get to where we need to be. Okay, let's move through to Tuesday. All right, so Tuesday, like I was saying yesterday, the moon moved into Taurus at 4:25 p.m.-ish. All right, so Tuesday, we wake up with the moon conjunct Jupiter. All right, so there's a lot of excitement and understanding. Well, not so much excitement, but we're concerned with our comfort and security, but there's a lot of understanding in the air. Okay, so now we, like yesterday with the Chiron stuff and the North Node, we're realizing the lessons we've learned, the new directions that we're taking, and we just need to pay attention that we're not talking ourselves out of the good things that we deserve. All right, so as the day goes on, it gets closer to Jupiter and there's some understandings unfolding. So, at the moment, there's a lot of financial stuff happening as well. So, maybe this is one of those days where you can do a budget or some future projections. It's tax time for us in Australia. So, maybe you can get your numbers done to pop your tax in. It's a very logical and we're able to think succinctly or sensibly. We're able to think sensibly and get some good logical numbers down, especially with that moon Mars in Mercury. All right, so, and also Mercury is now in shadow. So in saying that, from here on, pay attention because Mercury will be revisiting this point probably around the mid-September mark. Right, so this was from the 4th that it went into shadow. So mid-September backwards, that's where we're sort of thinking that if we're doing anything now, especially where it comes to contracts, numbers, figures, any agreements that we're making, we are still double checking, crossing those T's and dotting those I's and making sure we know what we're doing. All right. So let's go forward to Wednesday. All right, so look at this. Okay, so Wednesday morning, we wake up with the moon exactly conjunct Uranus. All right, so, and it is also square to that Venus retrograde. All right, so Wednesday, this is the day that we have Venus square Uranus. All right, so there has been some itchiness and some uncomfortable stuff brewing, but with that Venus being retrograde since the 23rd of July, we have had the space to look at our lives and see the things that have not allowed us to be that the kings and queens of our realms that we are. All right, we are now changing because things have been dissatisfying. You know, we all deserve the best in life. So with this Venus retrograde, you know, we've been able to see what has been dulling our shine. You know, Leo is also the sign of romance, you know, fifth house. It's the romance before the marriage. So, you know, now generally there can be a lot of relationship breakups during Venus retrograde, but especially in Leo, because, you know, and I was talking to someone the other day, and if you can come at it from a point of view that you once loved this person and then there was respect, that, you know, if you can both agree that it's not working, then that's more beneficial than the heartbreak that can come from a romance breakup. All right, so another thing with today, like I was saying, we've got that moon conjunct Uranus and the Venus retrograde. What is the problem that is making you itchy? All right, I likened it to, you know, a food allergy. You know, you can eat the yummy stuff and you can have a maybe an idea that it's something specific that is making you not feel great, but today will be the day where you're like, I can't eat gluten anymore because it makes me sick. So life choices can be directly altered due to the realization of knowing, you know, you might have had a hunch, but today you know what that thing is. Okay, so there is definite movement today with that Venus square Uranus, moon coming up there. We're uncomfortable. We can see what the problem is. Today is the day to make those adjustments. Okay, so let's move forward to Thursday. All right. So, oh, by the way, the moon moved into Gemini at 11 p.m. on Wednesday night. So we wake up with the moon in Gemini on Thursday morning. All right. So, like I was saying earlier, are you shining as brightly as you can? So we have the moon square Saturn that is exact at 8 in the morning or 8:40 in the morning. So we might be feeling the block towards something, it's a feely type of, or a subconscious. Okay, so because Saturn is in Pisces, so there's this subconscious idea that we may be able to talk through with people. You know, that Uranus square Venus is still fresh. They're still both at 22 degrees, moon in Leo. We might be able to talk about the blocks that we feel like we're having. Okay, so if that is in relationships, then be honest and open with your said partner. And also we have the Sun opposition Hygeia. So we can actually see what are the things that are affecting our mental health and our well-being, especially where it comes to us feeling trapped, because, you know, Aquarius is a sign of freedom and uniqueness. And if you're not being authentic within a relationship or within yourself, you know, if you're not being authentically you, then what's the point? There's plenty of other people that are sheeple like everyone else. You just do you, and that way your soul can feel the freedom of its existence and its purpose. So another one of those days this week where we're shifting and changing. It might not be uncomfortable, but it's absolutely necessary. Okay, so let's move forward to Friday. All right, so Friday we have an emotionally healing time available. All right, now there is a chance for miscommunication. So today and tomorrow, with the moon being ruled by Mercury now in shadow, all right, so miscommunication is on the radar. It's not exactly on the cards, but we're just looking for anomalies. All right, so if you pick something up, call it straight away, because we don't want it to escalate or snowball into something bigger. Especially, you know, I'll keep going back to that Mercury Mars. You know, we need to really be watching our words at this time as well, because we might just snap at people when we don't really need to. We're just getting mentally frustrated. Mars, Mercury. Virgo likes things being very specific. all of the, you know, there's a way to do things. There's a process. It's got to be done this way. So, you know, if we're not articulating, or, you know, even travel, you know, we might we could be careful with our travel arrangements. Thank you. I'm going to the airport that day. So I'll be allowing time, because whenever I travel in Mercury retrograde, there's generally a hiccup, but that's okay, because you've just got to be aware of it. So same thing here today. Just be aware, you know, we've even got that moon trine Hygieia. Okay, so we will be able to communicate our needs for our well-being. Okay, so let's go to Saturday. Now, Saturday is a great day if you need to get some stuff done. All right. So the moon moves into Cancer at 8:52 in the morning, and it's straight into, was it straight into a trine with Saturn there. It's not showing here, but straight into a trine with Saturn. So we've got the discipline to get the things done, especially if it's family orientated. Okay, so now paying attention to our thoughts again. You know, if you follow the joy, then you will find the fairy dust sprinkled on everything. If you fall into the trap of that negative inner critic that could potentially be very loud still at this time, then you're going to find things not covered in fairy dust. They will become covered in something else entirely. So just pay attention. You know, also the trine to Chiron and Venus, there could be some old hurts being brought up, but, you know, if like the whole Cancer moon, just go for the nurturing option first, rather than the snappy protective, or overly protective, you know. I'm thinking of the analogy, if you put a bunch of crabs in a pot, one won't be able to escape because the other crabs will continually pull it back. All right, so looking at that, if you just act accordingly in a nurturing manner and let people do their own thing, just respect their choices, you know, we're able to get some really good things done today. Okay, now Sunday, this is the turning point of the Venus retrograde. All right, so it's about 9:30 at night. Oh no, well, it's okay. Anyway, it's retrograde. It reaches its midpoint. Oh my God, it reaches its cazimi, which is when Venus is exactly conjunct the sun on Sunday. So, oh, we have all of the beneficial stuff of the sun in Leo: joy, creativity, romance, children. Oh my God, that just joy for joy's sake. And Venus up there being an absolute queen. So it can be a lovely day where the lens of love will be shown to everyone. Now, that moon in Cancer is especially beautiful too. So if you are having a family event, like I am, we are having my youngest son's baby shower on that day. So it's going to be beautiful. We need to forgive and forget. If that is the case, act respectfully and just allow the you know, the good vibes to flow. You know, there's always black sheeps, and there's always difficult family members, and, you know, that's just humans really in general. There's always going to be someone that you don't like. All right, so we're just gonna let love shine today. We are going to be as respectful as we can with our words, and we are just going to, you know, family's family. So it's a time to celebrate, and I hope that you have a wonderful day on this Sunday. I'm sure that it's going to be amazing. Okay, now how are you going with this Venus retrograde? Like I was saying, we have reached the midpoint now. So this is where Venus goes from the evening star to the morning star. So her whole outlook is going to change. She, you know, she's been making the hard decisions. Now she's got to the point where she's like, right, what do I have to do now? So if you are have you been experiencing this Venus retrograde and you're like, what am I doing? Then please reach out, because I do have a Venus reading at the moment. It's like a what the reading, because there's been a lot of people with shifts and changes, and we don't like change. But when we can see the bigger picture and the overall purpose, then it just makes that road a little bit easier for us to navigate. So if you would like daily guidance, you can come to my Facebook group, Lifetime to Level Up. Just ask to join, I'll let you in. Or you can go to my Bridget's Astrology page, where you can get the week ahead and the words all in the week ahead astrology link. And you can book me there too. So have a great week. We have got to that turning point. It's all uphill from here. So, mwah, and I will see you next week.